Hi, I'm Maryrose a GIS technician.
I'm Matt Dupont, a Media and Information Technician.
We're with the OGSR library, and today we are presenting 3D printing for geologists and subsurface explorers, turning the abstract into reality. 3D printing gives us the ability to take three-dimensional models created in a digital workspace and bring them back into reality with scientific precision. This gives the user the ability to hold and rotate a physical model made with real-world data, allowing for analysis of its geometry in a situation where its shape is intuitive. You can see and feel the Algonquin Arch and how the layers dip down into the Chatham Sag. Run your finger along the edge of the Niagara Escarpment. Having these features physically accessible makes this a valuable educational tool. To prepare the model for printing, layers from the lithostratigraphic model of Southern Ontario were combined and exported as wavefront objects using Leapfrog Works. Model objects were then edited using Blender, a common and powerful open-source 3D modeling software. This is where titles, scales, and additional model features are created and combined with the existing model into one solid piece. Objects are then sent to print slicing software to prepare printer-specific instructions, such as print resolution, material type, and build position. Let's throw it over to Matt, who will demonstrate the rest of the printing process.
Thanks, Maryrose. Welcome to our 3D printing lab. Today we're going to demonstrate printing the Precambrian layer using two different kinds of 3D printer. The FDM style printer stands for Fused Deposition Modeling. This type of printer uses heat to fuse a filament that's fed through a small tip onto the building platform. The resolution is 400 microns. Will it be enough to print all the fine details on this layer? We'll see at the end. With this printer, once the printing is finished, the piece is done. There's no post-processing. It's ready to go. SLA stands for Stereolithography Apparatus. With this printer, the building platform is lowered into a tray of resin and ultraviolet light fuses from below. This printer has a smaller building platform. It has a higher resolution. It can print as small as 25 microns. We're using 50 microns for this project. Once the printing part is finished, there's still a lot of work to do to finish the piece. There's still a lot of sticky resin left on it. There's a lot of small details. These will need to be pre-rinsed a little bit with isopropyl, canned air to blow out some of the more stubborn parts. Then it'll take a bath in pure isopropyl in the cleaning station. And once the isopropyl is dry, it goes into the curing station where it will be cured under ultraviolet light. Once cured, we need to remove the building rat. So we have to clip each support post and then just peel off the rat, and then you're left with all kinds of little bits and nubs that need to be sanded off. And then the piece just needs a final rinse, a little scrub with the toothbrush, and a little polish with the magic eraser to finish the job. And now let's look closely at the two prints side by side. From a distance, we can see that both printers have done a great job replicating the shape. A closer look at the FDM style print shows that the finish isn't as smooth. You can see a bit of a swirly pattern, essentially the lines drawn on by the filament. With the FDM style print, you can see that the smaller letters were not reproduced. The FDM printer wasn't able to reproduce the QR code. There's not enough detail here for this to work. So to achieve the level of detail we're going for, the SLA printer is really the right tool for this job. We plan to use the FDM style printer for other projects, say for larger pieces, and there's been talk of a geology-based puzzle project. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation. To keep track of this project, you can follow us on social media, check out our YouTube channel, go to our webpage, www.ogsrlibrary.com, and sign up for our newsletter. Thanks.